Welcome to today's video, guys. Keeping in with the MK23 theme that I've been doing recently, I've got a cool little thing to show today. It's not going to be a huge video because there's not a huge amount to it, but basically I was kindly sent one of the AirTac MK23 HPA adapters. This variant is the MP5 version, but they do other ones for shotgun shells, M4, different angles, etc. But this is using MP5 mid caps, the long ones. And basically, in short, you can shove this in your MK. This obviously goes in exactly as it normally would, but everything feeds from this magazine and it runs off HPA. And I've used this. There'll be some videos later, but this is great. Like, the MK is a great platform with all the other things coming out, like all the upgrades, the carbine kits, and these HPA adapters. It really is becoming an incredibly versatile platform. But this is essentially the adapter, and what you get is a pre-tapped mag. So this is a genuine TM mag, but I think they also do the clone mags like the STTI, ASG, etc. This section here is the actual adapter. So this is what's going to house your mid cap, high cap, low cap magazine, etc. Already got the adapter on it, already got all the seals in there, and obviously it's got the mag release on the left hand side. But that is essentially what you get. If you buy a full kit, you'll get the mag, the adapter, and the actual magazine, and it just slots in. I've used this in a few MK23s, TM, ASG, and the NOV SSX23, and I've had no issues. I had a teeny feeding problem because of the way they do the single stack, but just to the nature of how that's printed, you can just get a bit of dirt and residue in there, so I literally just gave it a quick clean and I've had no problems since. But yeah, it is a very nice little item. Quality of it's brilliant. We're going to go over and have a look on the bench, and I'll have a proper show of how it goes together in terms of literally just shoving it in the gun. Do some chrono tests, some shooting tests, and yeah, some consistency tests, because it is really good. Like, they're not that cheap, but if you are using the MK as your main platform, this really does open a lot more opportunities of what you can really do for it. But with that said, let's head over to the bench and we'll have a look at what it looks like inside an MK. Right, so now we've got the kit over on the bench. What are we looking at? Basically, it is a very simple, small little thing, depending on which package you buy. You're getting this, and this is the main component. This is on a genuine TM magazine. But basically, this replaces the bottom base plate of an MK23 magazine. It has this single stack runner, and that basically converts this to single stack rather than double stack. That, from what I can gather, is to avoid any kind of double feeding issues. You've got obviously your HPA fitting here. You've got your sealing section there, which is basically going to be one of the sort of O-rings or squarish O-ring gasket seals with a converted mag. And then from there, you can use other mags. In my case, I was currently sent the long MP5 mags, but you can get short ones of these. They do an M4 adapter, and I think they've got a drum adapter as well. And the kit, which I think when you buy it for about £85, is just this section. They have got an option to pre-fit a mag for you, either a TM or SSX, YMP, ASG, those sort of clone ones. But it is a nice little bit of kit. It's got some good little well thought out features. One is the fact they have converted this to a single stack. The reason being, obviously when this is set up as a standard MK23 magazine, obviously you drop the spring down, you load it, you've got your double stack, and that's fine because it's got the correct sort of spring tension ratio going on. However, when you're using different magazines, obviously that this isn't originally designed for, the spring tension's going to be different, how they feed's going to be different. So they basically converted it to a single stack to avoid any issues. And to be fair, I had one issue when I got this, which is sometimes I would get a BB or two sticking in here. Basically there was just a tiny bit of residue left over from the print process. Gave it a quick clean and I've not had any problems since. But the mag release here on the side, that is recessed. Don't know how well you'll be able to see that. So basically you're not going to knock that from any angle. You have to press into the detent to get it to release. Magazines go in nice and easy. Nice positive click, and they're solid when they're in. Obviously I went for the long ones, which are very, very long. I will probably swap those out for the shorter ones so it would look more like that. sort of length rather than this. One other little feature I noticed, so in there's a small little spring-loaded ramp. And basically what that does is it stops BBs falling out when you take your magazine out. This little latch just sort of flips closed and it keeps all the BBs trapped in here. So you're only going to have maybe 1 or 2 that are in the tube drop rather than sort of 5 or 6. And that, again, clicks in positive. You empty it, you probably have 1 or 2 BBs stuck in here. The rest will sit comfortably in that little tube and they won't come out unless that's depressed. So if you want to empty it, you can basically reach in, push this little tab down, flip over, everything's going to fall out. But that's genuinely it. There's not a huge amount to go over. Get it, it fits in, you connect your line up and it's good to go. As I said, this one is very, very long and I will be going for the shorter ones or maybe even the drum. I did some quick chronos, some quick shooting on it, which will be somewhere.
Fucking Brits.
Alright, so those are the 10 shots Don provided us with. I'll go ahead and read out the results for you. 224.1, 223.2, 220.3, 221.4, 220, 218.3, 220.3, 220.4, 219.7, and 220.3.
But it doesn't really add a whole lot of weight. These don't weigh anything if you're going for the MP5 ones. It's comfortable. The angle of this keeps the line out of the way, which is nice. And it's just well built. It's not standard FDM printing. I believe it's SLS printed maybe. I can't remember which one it is. But fitment's fine. I've had no feeding issues. Dropping it out, nice and easy. And again, it positively clicks in it. It's not going to come out on its own. I don't think you'd break it. With a long mag like this, obviously you're changing the point of leverage to obviously right down here. So I think if you were to hit this at an angle, you might break this, or I don't know how strong the catch is, it might end up just pulling itself out. Haven't tested that, don't really want to break it. So I would say the smaller mag is probably going to be your safer option to reduce getting caught, because obviously if you're crawling around with a long one, it is going to get in the way and be a bit of a pain. But other than that, being able to just drop that out, get another normal MK mag, put it in and go about your business, it's great. If you're going to run this in a carbine kit, which I've got the OTAR kit, not a problem. I can whack this in, run my MP5 mags, and I'm good to go. Set my PSI to DMR limit, if I'm allowed to use DMRs at the site. Brilliant. If I don't want to run it and I want to just stick to the standard magazines, just drop it all out. Put a normal MK mag, you're good to go. So overall, I like it. I think it's great. I don't think it's that expensive for what you're getting, thinking obviously all the design work that's gone into it. So yeah, if you're looking for a way to turn an MK into a more reliable primary and you're thinking of going the HPA route, this is definitely an option. Whether you want to go for the MP5 mags, the M4 or the drum mag, which they do as well. I think for the price, it's a good entry level to get into HPA. And again, I've run this a couple of times. It's been at Battle Lakes, I've tested it there. I've tested it loads in my own time. And yeah, I've had no issues with it. It's consistent, especially with a genuine TM mag in a TM MK. I've had very few issues other than that one with the feeding, but that was just a case of just giving it a little bit of a clean. But that's the kit. I think it's good. Let me know your thoughts, and with that, we're going to go back to the desk and yeah, have final thoughts. So, we've just come back from the bench, and we're going to give our final thoughts on the AirTac MK23 adapter. So, as I said on the bench and in the intro, I've had this a while. I've used it a couple game days. I've tested it a lot in my own time, and I genuinely think if you are looking to HPA your MK23 or anything, I think they make kits for the AAP now, Glocks, high cappers. The other one I've got my eye on is the TM MWS kit, but I think they're great. It's something that you can literally just either, if you're using this as is, great. If you want to HPA it, that's literally it. As long as you've got a line and a tank and a reg, obviously, you're good to go. If you don't want to use this, if you want to be sneaky, you don't want to be tied down with a cable, or you're just going to use the standard MK mags, drop it out. There, done, good to go. You are back to just a basic MK. I like it. I generally think it's good. I've got two MKs, so I think that MK that I've just shown you is going to sit inside the OTAR Airsoft carbine kit. I will run it with this, albeit I am going to get the shorter MP5 mags, because these are very long, very cumbersome, especially if you are playing. If you're running and gunning, not a problem, but if you're sniping, you're down in the dirt, this is a huge bit of length to add to an MK, especially if you're trying to go prone. So I think I will go for the shorter ones. But overall, I do like it. I think it's good. It's well designed. The quality's good. The material's good. The whole design of it, just little things about how the mag catch is kept hidden, so you can't accidentally knock it. You've got to consciously push that. You're not going to catch it on anything. Is a nice little design. Decent quality fitting. Haven't had any leak or consistency issues. On the little quick Chrono video I showed, you can see the consistency is pretty good, albeit that's on a very, very old Wolverine regulator. I think if you had one of the newer ones, or a newer, well-maintained reg, you'd be a little bit more consistent, whereas that one is very old and a little bit battered. But I think it's a good kit. Customer service from them was good. I know they can be a little bit slow sometimes, but a lot of that I think comes down to getting certain parts. Like if you're in airsoft retail yourself, you'll know that anything TM at the moment is a bit of a pain to get. Getting anything abroad is a bit of a pain. Even little fittings like this is a bit of a pain. So if you are finding a little bit of a delay, that's probably going to be why. But yeah, as I said, the guys kindly sent me the kit with no strings attached. They were just like, oh, here you go, have a kit. They liked the content I was putting out on my blog and YouTube. And we got talking, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to review it. Like, you didn't want me to, you didn't need me to, but I'm going to. And yeah, I like it. If you are looking to get into HPA, I don't think you can go wrong with it. It's not that expensive for what you're getting. I would personally get them to fit it though. If you're really confident, do it yourself. But if you want to save yourself a bit of time, it is worth just chucking the extra bit of money at them and getting them to fit it for you. That way you know it's going to be done, everything's going to be seated correctly. You're not going to have to drill your own mags or anything like that. So that would be my one takeaway, is just be a bit lazy and just send it to those guys. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. Again, keeping with the MK theme, I might get a drum mag as well, in which case I'll do a video of that. But at the moment, I don't think I've got a lot more MK stuff to do other than the new Flamingos, which if you've been watching people like Ninja Gilly Assassin and Silly Gilly, Hadron Airsoft, and there's a few others with those really long range shots, they're using the new Flamingo, both from the MKs, VSRs or GBB rifles. So they are coming, they've been tested for the last year, really happy with the performance, really excited to get them out. I'm waiting for the final production samples, and I'm hoping they're going to land before Christmas, which would be really nice. And I hope at the time this video is coming out, there's going to be a restock of the Hex Suppressors. They're on order. I don't know when this video is going to drop, but they shouldn't be too much longer after this. They might even arrive before this video comes out. Who knows? But if you've got an MK, they're good. They work well. But that's it, guys. It's not going to be a huge, lengthy video, so I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, remember, like, subscribe, all that crap. I'm on Instagram, Facebook. I've got a Patreon. Not going to lie, I don't do much on there at the moment. Just haven't got the time. But I will be putting some free files up there for basic things for the MK, little mods for spare parts for other things like VSRs, etc. But again, hope you've enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, and all that crap that YouTubers say. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.